Hello, campaigners. Welcome to the Campaign Rundown Podcast. I'm John Bose, one of the co-hosts of the podcast about all things election campaigns. I'm going to talk to you about stump speeches. If you're a new candidate running for office, you need to get your stump speech down. If you're an old candidate, veteran of many campaigns, you know that you always need to be refining your stump speech. If you don't know what a stump speech is, well, it's the 5-minute elevator pitch that tells voters who you are, what office you're running for, why they should vote for you, 3 issues that you think are important, and above all else, you ask for the vote. Now, stump speeches don't just happen. They need to be planned out and methodically put together as part of your greater message for the campaign. So, I'm going to jump right into this stump speech anatomy. We're going to break down how to actually put one together and the fact that there's actually 3 types of them. If you're interested, stay tuned. We're going to bring it to you next. Let's talk about the anatomy of a stump speech. If you don't know what a stump speech is, it's basically an elevator pitch for an election campaign. In under 5 minutes, you need to tell a voter who you are, why you're running for office, what office you're running for, the 3 major issues that are a part of that office, and why they should vote for you in the upcoming election. And don't forget to remind them when the election is and how to get in touch with you. If 5 minutes seems like a long time, wait till you try it. This speech is basically an outline of your campaign. It's not the speech you would give at a rally, but rather a speech you would give to a voter when you meet them for the first time, or if you're at a public event where multiple candidates are speaking. It is basically the overview, the heart and soul of your campaign. And it will also be used as part of things like your splash page for your main website, and for palm cards, which are the literature you hand out to people when you're first making introductions. Stump speeches have 5 components. The first component is the introduction. Introduce yourself, give people your bio, tell them what office you're running for. Next comes the why you're running for that office. Explain why you're running, why it's important to you, and how that will impact the community. Third part, tell people 3 issues that are important to you and why they matter for this office. Fourth part, tell people how to get involved with your campaign. Tell them where your website is, email, phone number, give them any information you can to get them involved. And final, the 5th item, the most important, ask for the vote. Make sure you ask people to vote for you. When you finish the speech, finish with, I hope I can count on your support. Every candidate needs 3 versions of their stump speech. The first version is the introduction. You use this in public settings and large crowds where you're just making quick introductions to voters and you wanted them to know who you are. The second one is the 2-minute speech. This is for when you are at a public event and get called to the microphone. You want to make it as short and concise as possible. And the last one is the 5-minute speech, which is when you are actually planned to speak at an actual event. In stump speeches, it's always better to be short and sweet than long and boring. People do not like it when you take up a lot of their time ranting on about different things. They want to have very concise, very easy to understand speech, and they want to know exactly where you stand. Let's start with anatomy of an introduction stump speech. This is a 1-minute speech that you're going to give to voters you meet. When they're done talking with you, they will know who you are, what office you're running for, what you're all about, and have a method to contact you. Let's take a look at the introduction stump speech. With the introduction stump speech, so short as possible is the most important part, but at the same time you do want to find key elements that you're going to stretch when you're talking to new people. Start with your profile. That's your name, your occupation, where you live, and what office you're going for. Then go into a biography. This is a very short description of your professional and personal career up until this point. You want to use keywords rather than entire phrases. So I'm a working professional, I'm a father, I'm a husband, things like that. Then you're going to go into your 3 key issues. The 3 key issues are what you think the campaign is going to focus on for this upcoming election. Next, you're going to tell them why they need to vote for you. My experience, my background, I think this, that, whatever, but you want to keep it short. You're going to finish off with 2 key elements that you need to have every single speech finish with: a way for the voter to get in contact with you and to ask for their support. So you're going to say, please visit my website, give me a call, here's my number, send me an email, whichever. I prefer the website because it gives you more of an option. And very important is that ask for the vote. You're going to finish off by saying, can I count on you to vote for me in the upcoming election? If you get a no or I'm not sure, ask the follow-up question of what can I do to win your vote? Stump speech for the introduction is the shortest one, under a minute, and it needs to be very good in the fact that you hit your key points and leave impressions on people. Once again, this is a 1-minute speech where you're meeting somebody in a crowd, you're telling them who you are, what office you're running for, and they feel confident that they can get a hold of you. The 2-minute stump speech is going to follow the exact same format as the 1-minute stump speech, except for you're going to expand in 2 portions. The first part that you're going to expand is the bio. Instead of giving 3 basic words that describe your background, you're going to expand that to be a sentence. And then the next thing that you're going to expand is your 3 issues. You're going to mention the first 2 issues, which are the less important ones, and the third issue, you're going to give a full sentence on why that is actually important and how that links to why people should vote for you. So 2-minute stump speech is 2 minutes long. Once again, it's the same exact setup as the 1-minute introduction speech, but you are expanding your bio and you're expanding on the 3 issues, picking one of the issues and directly linking it to why they should vote for you. That is a full sentence that you're adding in. Now the 5-minute stump speech, once again, follows the same exact format, except for now for each one of the issues that you are running on, you're giving full sentences. You're also going to expand on the why you're running, and you're going to expand on the bio. Add an extra sentence for each one of those so that you can get 5 minutes out of it. So you're getting full sentences on your bio, your background. You're getting a full 3 sentences on issues, and then you're getting a full 2 sentences on why you're running. Always go for shorter. A 5-minute speech should be 3 minutes long. 4 minutes if you're pushing it. People remember short speeches, especially if they're very concise and to the point. Always, no matter what type of speech you're giving, finish with contact information and ask for the vote. One of the overlooked features of election campaigns is the fact that the candidate is never in public without a body person. If you're not familiar with what body people are, these are the individuals that travel with the candidate and provide support to them while they're in public. In a context of a stump speech, they're incredibly important. If a candidate is working a crowd, meaning moving towards the crowd and is talking to voters, when they finish their stump speech, what they're going to do is direct the voter they're talking to talk to their body person. Let's say it's Billy or Sally. They would say, and I do hope I can count on your support. Please, if you're interested, talk to Billy. He's going to get your contact information so that I can follow up with you if you have any questions. This is a very important tool for candidates to be able to use, which is why they never go in public without having somebody with them. That way that they can always refer a voter to the body person so that there can be some follow-up action. On the other hand, if they're on stage making a speech, when they finish the speech, once again finishing with, I hope I can count on your support. If you are interested in finding out more about me, please see Billy or Sally. Billy, Sally, can you raise your hand? Please see them. They will get your information and I will get in contact with you. Body people are an incredibly important tool to have at events. Once you've built out the stump speech and got it to a spot that you like it, you need to rehearse it to the point that you cannot forget a single word. Don't rehearse it to the point that you remember everything. You want to rehearse it to the point that it is impossible for you to forget a sequence of the words, that is so ingrained in your memory, you do it in your sleep. And when you're delivering these speeches, they're not a lecture. They're a story. They're a performance. You want to make sure that when you put the speech together, you've got inflection points, you've got pauses for applause, you've got social gestures that you're making. You want to be able to move around the room when you're doing a actual performance in front of an audience. You want to be able to be very social when you're one-on-one. You want to have gestures that pull people in, not push them away. Remember, a stump speech is the first impression that a voter is going to have of you. So it needs to be well rehearsed, all the versions, and it has to be rehearsed to the point that you can't forget a word. Not that you remember every word, that you can't forget it. You've gotten to the point that it is committed to your memory and it's a part of your soul. And like I said, it's a performance, not a lecture. Make sure you practice how you're going to present this speech. The stump speech is the core of your election campaign. So not only is it a verbal presentation and a visual presentation to voters, but it's going to be the core of the messaging that the campaign builds. It becomes the palm card that you hand to voters when you first meet them. It becomes the splash page of your website, the introduction of your social media. You want to make sure that this is the centerpiece of your campaign. If you found this interesting, please consider going to my website, bose3.com, and checking out the podcast. This is John Bose. I will see you on the campaign trail.